Well, welcome to another episode of Two Questions For, and our guest today is Katie Fossum. And Katie and I are going to be talking a little bit about the giving path. If you're not familiar with the giving path, it's a tool that we use here at Apostles to just talk about how we give gifts to God, how we're generous, and it just walks along that path. You can find the giving path on the greeters table in our narthex, and we're so glad to answer any questions about it. But what the giving path is not really the point of our conversation. Our conversation is about your experience with the giving path. And so thanks for being here, first of all.
Thank you for
welcome.
having me.
Yeah, so glad you're here. How can you describe your experience with the giving path so far?
So because I grew up in the household that I did, where we went to church every week, my parents tithed, I knew they tithed, it was always modeled for me. And I had this experience when I was, in middle school, high school, when you're first starting to get your babysitting jobs and that kind of thing, and you're getting a little bit of income, where I thought about giving, and I didn't, because I had this naive thought of, well, my parents are tithing, so what would be given to me as their child was tithed on, therefore I don't need to tithe. Makes total sense.
It's a great argument. I mean, it's a great argument.
Hey, I thought I was brilliant when I was in high school and I thought of this idea. As I got older and I, went to college and got a degree and got a job in my field where I'm making money that I can actually look at and do things that I want to do with it, I reevaluated where I was, and I decided that because I wasn't on the giving path, I should go somewhere. So I started off by just giving a small quantity every paycheck, just to kind of get my foot wet, to see how it was, to see if it's something that I can do, if it's something that is beneficial for me, and how I can potentially grow in the future. And I realized that it really wasn't as big of a deal as I thought it was.
Okay.
So I was giving a very small amount, and I knew it wasn't a lot. I knew it was less than an actual percentage, but it was something, and I started to feel better, and I felt like this is something that I can actually do. Okay. So I decided that it made sense for me to give a percentage.
Okay. And
then I was like, let's do this percent, and God was like, no, you're going 2% higher than that. Try again.
Now, I'm going to pause you and
Yes.
just a question inside of question here.
Yeah.
Right at that moment, I'm just interested in that prayer, that conversation between you and God. Can you talk a little bit more about how that came? Was it peace? Was it an actual prayer, or just, whatever you can say?
It was a lot of peace, but it was also me looking at the numbers and realizing that fiscally, it wasn't that big of a jump between those two percentages that I was thinking of. And I really felt as if it was something that I was supposed to do. So it really was that piece in that larger number that was scarier, but I felt like that was what was being asked of me at that time.
All right, yeah, well, thank you for your faithfulness to
Yeah.
pray about that, and God's faithfulness to answer you. So with that, how's God been meeting you in other ways as you've been kind of walking along the giving path and just growing in it?
So again, it hasn't been as difficult as I thought it was. I take the money out, it's assigned, I know it's not something that I can spend, so it ends up making my finances seem a little bit easier. And then also this has been my journey for the past maybe 2.5 years, and in this past 2.5, 3 years, I've really solidified my relationship with God, where I feel like instead of just seeing God work in other people's lives, I have asked him things for me specifically, and he has met me in it. And I think that the faithfulness in giving the money that you wish you could spend on something else really helps him want to meet you in those moments. I had a moment where I was having intense anxiety that was really not rooted in anything other than me feeling not good enough for things. And I prayed that the anxiety was not from God, it was not what he wanted me to feel, and it was crazy that within 30 seconds it just dissipated.
Yeah.
And that's something that I'm still not great at, but it's feeling God meet me in those anxious moments has really helped me.
It's amazing, Katie. Well, thank you. And I'm just going to say, I love the way your testimony is holistic. that part of the giving path is, well, I should say the giving path is part of a deeper relationship with God, and He's meeting you in many ways on that path, not just financially,
Yeah.
but in a lot of ways. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm so
It was a
grateful.
really cool experience.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm so glad you had it. I'm grateful to God, and we're so grateful to you for spending some time on 2 episodes 4. Or no, 2 questions 4.
Yes.
See, you were nervous, and I messed it up. 2 questions 4. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time on 2 questions 4.